Hi, I'm Rachel Chamness at soundwaveshill.com. Today, in our monthly tag masterclass, which is always free on YouTube, we will be talking to Goddess Artemis or Diana and Goddess Brigid. They have both come to Tag Lightworkers monthly membership this month to talk to us about sacred portals and astral travel. So, we're going to be asking them the same 13 questions we normally ask, and they will be answering through me through trance channel mediumship, which is meaning they will speak through me. Hi and welcome. This month, Goddess Brigid and Diana are coming to talk to us about sacred portals and astral travel. And we have a lot of questions for them. And I may be asking a few extra questions if they don't expand on what we need to know. So we are going to begin right away with question number 1. Where do you originate from? This question actually is really important to me to ask Diana, because when I got the information for this month, I got that Diana was coming. And then I realized that Diana is the Roman name for Greek goddess Artemis. Now, I had never known this because when I talk to Diana or when I talk to Artemis, they present themselves in very different ways to me. So now my biggest question is, what's the deal with that? And is the Roman goddess Diana slightly changed and not exactly the same as Artemis? And what does that mean? Does that mean that there are two different goddesses, or what is going on with that? So I want to know. So we're going to ask Goddess Diana to come in and answer this question. I am the Goddess Diana, and I have also been known as Artemis. However, there is no man or human who has created me, for I always have been an energy upon the universe, as all goddesses are gods. We come from Source and are part of Source, as you are. And we always have been. And you may call me Artemis, or you may call me Diana, because I have so often spoken with this medium as Diana. I have come this month as Diana, and I have come to show my Artemis side as well. I have come in two forms to this medium. There was a great message in which I imparted a long time ago to this medium about the moon and how I wish not to be goddess of your planet's moon, for it is not a true moon, but it is a satellite. I am the goddess of the wild and of the hunt and of wild things, and that is how I wish to be known, and that is how I come. Okay, I guess that answers my question. So she shows me herself as the way I see her as Artemis, and the way she shows herself as Diana, and she's just now telling me that it's just a difference of looking Greek versus looking Roman. She says, but to me, she could have looked the same and looked both Roman and Greek. But that's what she's saying. Okay. So for that purpose, we will call her Diana. Now let's ask Goddess Brigid. And I know that that's not the Celtic way to say her name, but that is the way I'm going to say it. There are many ways to say her name, and that's how I will be saying it today. And we'll call her in and ask her, where do you originate from? I come from the spark of life, which begins all. Yes, this is also known as Source, but it is how I would like to describe where my energy has begun, because that is how it began, as a thought or manifestation of source. I became my own entity, my own light being, as you would like me to say. And yet I am still of source, just as you are. For we are all source and manifestations of source. And you will find source within you if only you look and feel and connect. That's funny. That's how I like to think of it too. I often say we're all sparks of light, or um, that and all those sparks of light come together and make source. And what source is, or God, or however you would like to describe the universe, the the greatness that is within us all. Okay, question number 2. Where do you exist now? Is there a name or a place or just a frequency? So we'll let Diana talk first. Our frequency is labeled between 12 and 13. We understand that this is the way that you label dimensions or density fields or vibrations. And so to fit into that model, we would say right on the 12th or 13th line is where we resonate. Do we exist anywhere? There is a place in which we sometimes are, which is called Olympus in the history. It is a place where we gather, but we'd like you to think of it like this. It is a meeting place. Think of it as where you would meet on a Zoom room. Not quite the same, but that is how it is. That is where we would meet for discussion. But we are just energy from source. And so we can be anywhere. So the question is, where do you exist now? So does that mean that you are on Earth? I'm going to ask, I'm going to have Brigid come in and answer that part. Yes, I am well associated with Earth. And I have been intermingling my vibration or essence within your planet for millennia, as has Diana. And we are deeply resonated with your planet. We deeply care about your planet and the beings within it. And we do all that we can to help all of you remember that you are from Source, and remember your true essence. That felt good. Okay, question number 3. What is your existence like? What kind of tasks do you perform? Do you work with the ley lines or other energies on Earth? So I'll bring Diana in first because she wants to talk first. I help those who call on me, and to help all the beings of the wild, animals, and the like. This is part of my task. I work with animals, mammals, and different beings of the sea. Our work includes cleaning and filtering and helping the planet regenerate where we can. And this is part of the wildness. For where we can, we grow with the trees and the plant life. we grow and we grow and we reclaim the wildness that once was all of your planet. Okay. Bring in Brigid. I do work with the ley lines on Earth, for I work with many Fey creatures, and that is part of our work that we do, clearing ley lines and clearing spaces. And this does bring us to the topic, which is portals. We also guard portals and work with their energies. These are portals to and from Earth that many beings may use to leave Earth to go to another plane of existence or another planet or another place, or to come to Earth. And this is where we bring in new beings for Earth. This is Rachel. Here she shows me Diana, actually, or Artemis, bringing in new species of plant life and animals coming in through the portals. I'm bringing back Brigid. No, bringing in Diana. Diana wants to say something. Yes, this is how we manifest into a third dimensional reality, is bringing through these portals into Earth. And so new species of plants or amphibians or animals or fish, they are all coming in through these portals. We bring them through. And we use these portals ourselves to go to other places, to go to other planes of existence, such as where the Fae are, especially for Brigid, and other places. So for those of you who have been in TAG a long time or have watched the TAG Masterclass, our month of the elves, they also talked about portals and how they use them to go to different places and to come to and from Earth. And that was really fascinating. So if you're in TAG Lightworkers now, you can go back to that month and watch that masterclass with the elves, because it was also about a little bit about portals. Number 4 is, do you help other beings besides humans, such as elementals or other humanoids or other non-humanoids, and in what way? Brigid would like to speak. Yes, I am quite known for working with the Fae, and I work with many beings. For beings do not need to be humanoid for our help, and we do not distinguish a difference between humanoids and non-humanoids as far as importance. For all life has importance. Even the shadow and the dark have importance in your world, but they do not exist past the 5th dimension, or they are not supposed to exist past the 5th dimension. This one is asking me about Atlantis, and that's a very easy answer. For the dimension began to lower, the frequency began to lower in Atlantis before its fall. It wasn't quite 5th dimensional at that point, although many beings there were still vibrating at a 5th dimensional point. The planet itself and the place of Atlantis was not. Oh, well, we always have to ask about Atlantis, right? Because we're all fascinated with it. Why are we all so fascinated with Atlantis? Because every single one of us was there at least once, everyone on this planet. Isn't that crazy? Even people that you would think are not, definitely not on the 5D timeline. Okay, let's see what Diana says. Yes, of course, we work with many, many, many beings, all types of beings. In what way, Diana? We'll ask her. I help them connect to the wildness inside themselves, to working outside of the box. Humans especially can be tied to a sort of linear thinking, a sort of community thinking, and it is very hard to change the thought processes to be thinking outside of what is considered normal parameters. And this is definitely where I would like to come in and help. Ooh, so I already know what they're going to say for the next question. I'm starting to see what they're going to say. Okay. Number 5 is, why have you come together this month and what do you have in common? Okay, I'm excited because I was wondering this and now I see, but I'll let them answer. We'll start with Brigid. We have come together this month to help you with this exact thing of thinking outside the box, as this medium often says. And what that is building new neural pathways in your brain for you 3D lovers of practical thinking and scientific research. For what happens is a community gets a certain type of thinking and it becomes a rut for your whole planet, staying inside the lines. As many of you who are listening now, this is not your intention at all, but yet you are still programmed and inside programming that has been on your planet for millennia, which is impossible to escape. And this programming is starting to become clear, especially as it is in a last desperate attempt to bring you into deeper programming. But there's programming everywhere that you look and see. And we would like you to reject this, to learn to find that creative spark to help you think outside the lines, to help you understand these other ways to think and to do things that exist within you. And one way we'd like to show you how to do this is to find portals and to learn to astral travel. And this is what we will be connecting you to this month in the attunement and the meditation and the sigil that is available in tag. This is how we will help you in many layers begin to think outside the box, begin to think outside the lines, begin to do things completely differently. It's Rachel. It's hard for when you're a medium and they're speaking through you. I sometimes hear these grammatical errors, and I think it's because they're just looking for words in my mind and they don't always translate so well. So what I'm seeing is, I think of Brigid as this like being who wants to bring in this creativity, to bring in this joyful presence of everyday life, to not forget about why we came into this life. It is a challenge for us to remember that we are not just these bodies, that we have come to this life to do things, and that we can do them in joy or we can do them in fear and in pain. It is our choice. And that's one of the biggest lessons that we learn as humans here. Can we go through the same life with joy that we could also go through with pain or with lower frequency thoughts? And that's our biggest challenge, because we could do every single thing still with joy, even if they're hard and even if they contain shadow work. It doesn't matter. We can still find joy at the end of the tunnel. We can still dig deep and work on ourselves and release and cry and feel sad and still come around back to finding joy. We don't have to live our whole life looking at everything in the negative. We can try for, especially when we're not doing shadow work, to look at things in the positive. Yes, we have lots of tasks to do. Perhaps we're doing too much, as we learned in 2020, a lot that we were doing too much. And yet we could do them in joy. We could do them with gratitude. And that's really a big lesson. And that's kind of how I see Brigid. And then Diana comes with this out of the box thinking, how to deprogram ourselves, how to get in touch with the wildness inside. And so together you can see how this works. And I love that they picked portals and astral travel to do this, because there is a great deal of thinking outside the box for these two things. So it's kind of exciting. And I am going to ask them some questions about portals and maybe astral travel too in a little bit. But now our next question is, how do you help with ascension specifically? So we'll let Diana go first. I want you all to know that ascension is assured. And I want you to know that this is not a test that you can fail. Yes, many people won't be going to ascension, but they never had any plans to go. Many people come to this earth to be a resistance to fight against, and they have no plans of ascension. And so they won't hear you and your pleas for understanding ascension. This is not your task to talk other people into ascending. And the planet will ascend, and you will ascend. Here you are working on ascension, and you will ascend. And if something were to happen, well, as soon as you pass to the other side, you are ascended. So you see, it is a no fail option. I want you to feel very confident in this. And I want you to relax. What you are doing and how you are getting there is your own journey. It could be fast and it could be slow. But as long as you are human on this earth, you have work to do on yourself always. You are never beyond working on yourself. I come to you to help you with ascension with these thoughts and with other thoughts as well. As you get higher in the dimensional frequency in which your body will ascend to, so your vibration rising as we get closer to full ascension, you will find that thinking the way that you used to think is not going to work for you anymore. And that is why I am here. That is who you can call on, me, to help you resist this linear thinking, to resist this old thinking and bring in a new way to think of things. When you are working your mind around solving a problem, call on me and I will help you in a way which will open your mind more. And this is all part of ascension. Cool. Okay, so Brigid, joy. As I spoke before, joy and creativity. This is where you call on me to find joy, to find humor, to find the beautiful parts of life. I send fairies to you when you are needing a reminder of that laughter and joy that fairies bring. Or I send other fae to you as well. Sometimes I send animals of your earth that you can see even more clearly, of course, than fairies and fae. And these beings can uplift you. And so can beautiful landscapes of this beautiful planet that you live on. Do you ever take a moment to just look up, look out the window, go outside and say, it's beautiful. It's beautiful today. And do you need reminders for this? This is where you can call on me. And yes, this is part of ascension, joy. Well, I love that. Okay, number 7. What form do you take or look like? Diana, since I see you as Diana and Artemis. For as we have said, we are just formless energy. But yes, we will turn ourselves into a humanoid goddess as you expect us to be. And we can easily do this in whatever form resonates with you most, and that will be different. And when we are called upon for other creatures who are not humanoid, while we resemble a pleasing form to them. And that is how this works. So it does not matter if you think of me with long black hair or with red hair, as this one has seen Diana and Artemis, two sides of myself. For it is a feeling, we are an energy, just like your soul is an energy. This is Rachel. I think maybe we should replace this question because they always say that I feel lately, or at least the beings, light beings that we are talking to. Okay, so let's ask Brigid. Again, I am an energy as well, and I would like you to think of me as blooming flowers and green, growing vines and beautiful greenery of your planet. That is where you'll find me always. Okay, that is definitely resonating with me and seeing her like that. Number 8 is actually, what areas do you specialize in, together or separate, if we want to call for help from you? But they've already answered that question. It's pretty similar to number 5. So I think we should ask instead for some information on portals and astral travel. So we'd like to know, for instance, are there different kinds of portals? Are there, local portals or big portals or high energy places like Stonehenge? What are the different types of portals? And is this what we are going to be learning this month? And Brigid's coming in first. A portal is simply a place where you can leave one plane of existence and go to another. So you may think of it as you leave Earth and go through a portal to be on your moon satellite. Or you leave Earth and walk into a land where Fae are existing, for there are many. Or you are leaving Earth to go to another part of Earth, which is not obtainable from where you are at. Okay, I'm asking, can these transport you through time, like in the book Outlander? Yes and no, for it is not, of course, like the fictional book, which many of you have read. But time is also another plane of existence, and time doesn't actually exist. So you very much could go to another plane of existence, which feels like you have gone back into time or gone forward into time, but is only just another plane of existence, which is at a different time of its evolution. Okay, she tried to show me and that just blew my mind. I don't even know if I can explain that. It's kind of like, it's not so much like we would go to another portal and it would be the 1950s Earth, same place or another place. It's not even like it would be similar to the technology of 1950s in another place. It's just that, I don't know, this whole concept of time is so, it's very hard to bring into 3D words, and it's like I kind of get it for a minute and then it just kind of goes poof and then it leaves me. It's hard. Another question we have is, could portals go to many places or just one place? And they're already showing me that it could go to many places. Let me bring in Brigid. You may use a portal for many places. However, most portals are used for 1 to 3 locations. And sometimes portals can shift where they go to one location for a long period of time and then shift to a different place. And that is why portals can be quite tricky, and you must understand them to really work with them. Also, there can be some that alternate when they go to one place or another. And if you are familiar with these portals, then you will know that this portal, for instance, may have a certain time of day on your planet where it goes one place, and a certain time of day or a certain time of the year where it goes to another place. So it could be also affected by time on your planet. If we are talking about Earth portals, of course, we will talk about time because your planet is working with a third dimensional concept of time. Okay, that's really cool. So I'm seeing that. She was actually showing me like um, places like Stonehenge. So that was really cool. Okay. Gonna ask a few more questions of the 13 and see what else they will bring forth about portals and astral travel. So, number 9 is, have any of you ever incarnated in human form on Earth? And tell us about your incarnations. Diana speaks first. No. No, I would not take such a third dimensional form. It would be quite difficult for me, but I have incarnated in a higher dimensional form to others, as we discussed earlier. Brigid says the same. It's the same for her, so that's interesting. Okay, number 10, what is your main advice that you would like to give concerning ascension or current earthly energies? I feel like they already gave us their big advice, but let's see if they have something else to say. Brigid. Breathe and experience all. Many of you are quite consumed with small screens or electronics or busy to-do lists. And we would like you to take breaks to go outside in nature and to breathe deeply and to honor yourself deeply by taking breaks, by resting, and by enjoying life more, by making rituals every day to enjoy life more. And meditation can be quite enjoyable. Okay. Okay, Diana. Just be. Just be. Do you need reminders to just be? If so, then I ask you to set an alarm to remind yourself to take a few moments to just be in the present moment. Even if you only took 30 seconds a day to really bring in the present moment, you would find this grow within you, and you would find ascension easier to obtain and to grasp. That's an interesting thought, to set an alarm to remind yourself to be present. And that could be quite useful, especially during work hours. Okay. What else would you like us to know? Tell us more about portals and especially astral travel, which we have not talked about. So let's bring in Brigid first. Many of you already know that you astral travel. Every one of you astral travels to many realms in your sleep, and you have been doing it since you were born on this planet. However, do you know how to astral travel in your waking times? This is what we would like to begin to teach you this month. You may have experienced it in a guided meditation. You may have experienced it in a waking meditation that came upon you without thought, where you suddenly feel transported to another place. And when you come back, you may not always remember. The veil of amnesia is quite thick on your planet, and sometimes the information you have obtained can only go to your higher self until your physical body can handle such high vibrational thoughts. And this is not about mood vibration, but about understanding a higher dimensional frequency of beliefs and thoughts. Some of these are hampered by stuck thoughts and beliefs in your mind already. And so until those are eradicated, it is hard to bring this information down, but it is stored. It is stored in your higher self and in your soul star chakra. And it can be brought down when the body is ready to receive and understand it. I feel like I just went somewhere. I kind of almost got half of that. Once you start talking about like going to another place in your thoughts, I thought about how often I did that. I feel like I went somewhere while she was talking. And that can happen in trance. Okay. Let's talk to Diana. You may use astral travel and portals together. And you probably have done this in waking meditations or other types of astral projection or astral travel by mentally going through portals without realizing it. And you may use them together physically as well. You may sit in front of a portal and feel transcendent as you astral travel through that portal, and yet your body stays here on Earth. There are many ways to use portals, and this is one of them. That's interesting. So I guess if you went to like Stonehenge, for instance, and sat inside of it, and they're saying especially certain times of the day or the year, you may feel like your meditation that you did there was very transcendent, yet your body is still there. So you're not physically leaving, but it's sort of a, I see how it can come together now. That's very interesting. Okay. Well, I guess we will get more into that as this month goes on in Tag Lightworkers. So number 12 is what frequency or dimension are you from, which they already told us, the 12th to 13th. And number 13 is, do you have an ego? And they both resoundingly say no. So let's see what else we have for portal questions or astral travel questions. How can we find portals is my question. Let's see. Here comes Brigid. For you can use your psychic senses to find portals. You may ask your spirit guides or ask us to help you find a portal. We may lead you to it in your mind with astral travel, or we may show you when you are near. You can also be attuned to a way to find portals or to see portals in everyday places, which is something we will do in the attunement. Oh, she's showing me that, like just kind of walking through the woods and being like, oh, there's a portal. And then you can ask your psychic senses, what is this portal? And find out more about it. And she's also saying, you know, spirit guides and other helpers can help, light beings who help us, especially her and Diana. So, well, that's really interesting. Okay, I'm sure we're going to learn more as time goes on. I hope that you enjoy this, and I'd love to see you in Tag Lightworkers if you'd like to learn more about how to use these portals and be attuned to them and be attuned to all kinds of interesting astral travel portal wonderfulness this month. Of course, I'm always learning with Tag with my monthly group, so as I learn as we go along. I don't know yet either, for this is the first offer of the month, but I'm definitely looking forward to learning with all of you. Thanks for coming, and I hope you have a great day.